Good evening, all. I am Nikita Khandelwal. I would like to welcome everyone on behalf of RFI Research Foundation of India, RFI Prime, RFI Indore Chapter, RFI World Board members. The RFI works for higher education. Our research society strive to advance knowledge about education, a higher education to encourage scholarly inquiry related to education, and to promote the education research to improve education and serve the public good. So RFI has organized 10 days faculty development program on a step-by-step guide to write a good research paper. And it's day 8 of our program, where a great personality, Dr. Sumanta Dutta, will guide us about understanding ethical issues and plagiarism. As we know, Dr. Sumanta Datta needs no introduction, but then also I would like to I would like to throw some lights on his educational journey. As Dr. Sumanta Datta is presently associated with the Postgraduate and Research Department of Commerce St. Xavier's College, Calcutta, under the University of Calcutta. He has over 19 years of experience in teaching and the research. He has contributed 3 edited books, one case book, and one research book from a reputed publishing house from India. He has written a book titled Research and Publication Ethics in Social Science for MPhil PhD scholars, which was mandated by the UGC for pre PhD registration. He has also contributed more than 40 research papers in various national and international, including UGC-CARE. He acted as a resource person on several national level working organized by various research bodies in India and on the theme research ethics and way to write represents papers in social science. He acted as a reviewed from the desk of the editors in chief, the Journey of Indian and Asian Studies, GIAS, Institute of Indian Studies, HUFS, Korea. At present, he acts as an associated editor of biannual peer-reviewed referred journal named International Journal of Academic Research and Development. He- His work has been cited well both in SSRN top 10 download list as well as in Google Scholar for his outstanding contribution in the field of marketing research. He got National Education Leadership Award in 2019. He also obtained the Teaching and Research Award 2020 and Educational Excellence Award 2021. And he has won many more awards in educational field. But as we all know, the time is running so fast. We are dog busy today. So now, sir, I would love to request you to please share your precious knowledge with us as it's a day 8 of our session. And the topic is how to write a good research paper, and the eighth day topic is about the plagiarism and ethical issues. So, sir, please share your special and geographical views with us.
And thanks for organizing this kind of research related workshop again and again by the Research Foundation of India on a continuous basis so that we can encourage the scholars to move faster. That is very important nowadays in before the implementation of this NEP 2020. So before that, I will take 1 minute time and then I will share my PowerPoint. If you can see, just inform me. Just a minute. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Oh, yes, sir. Now it's viewable. We can.
Okay. Just a minute. I think all of you can see this particular PowerPoint.
Yes, sir. We can. Please proceed.
Now, see, the most important thing is that our topic is today understanding the ethical issues and plagiarism. So before we start, I try to focus on this issue that this is a very important dimension, and I don't know how I can explain or narrate the story because this is very important and very commonly adopted practice every nook and corner of India. And how to deal with this? You know that we are in the verge of implementation of NEP 2020. from this current academic session. And you know that this the most important characteristics of this NEP 2020 is that in the semester 8, we have us under the skill enhancement program, we have a dissertation for the undergraduate students. Now, why it becomes very important? Now, see, earlier we have the master student, the MPhil scholars, the PhD scholars that directly opt for research, and now it come in turn. The day came that when we think about UG as a research, that is UG for undergraduate honors with research, then you know you can understand the importance of this particular context. Why? If you can go by this particular rule, as it was written in this NEP, that undergraduates who hold or who get 75% marks or 7.5 CGPA marks, they can automatically, not opt for masters, they can directly go for PhD program. So the days will come that we have to compete with our undergraduate students with PhD degree. So this is the very important. Are they aware of, are they ready for undertaking this particular interest into account? So the most important part come when we are doing research, when we are undertaking or writing a particular paper, when we are writing any paper, or when we are undertaking a PhD. Most important, the ethical part. So what is ethics in the context of research? If you go by the simple terminology as defined from a layman's point of view, is a codification of scientific morality in practice. That means we try to identify which one is right and which one is wrong. Automatically, then we can identify the right pathway that we as a mentor, we as a scholar, and we as an academician can follow. So that is the most important part of research ethics. Now, question arise that strike our mind often, that this ethics is only applicable for the scholars who are undertaking PhD, or whether it is applicable only for those scholars who are undertaking MPhil as a choice preference. Okay, now, or is it applicable for all academicians and scholars who are interested to write papers? Yes, the point arises that ethics can happen at any point of unethical misconduct, unethical practice can happen at any point of time. Okay, so this is very important. We have to understand, we have to maintain the research integrity at every stage of our journey. Otherwise, what happens? You know that what will happen? The thing will happen that if we later on it was found that something is being plagiarized, something you have written of not of your own, something you have copied from elsewhere, some images you have taken from someone else without proper acknowledgement, all those being spotlighted, and you can be blacklisted from the academic community for a long period of time. So this is very important for us to understand this ethical part. And why? Because this dissemination of information is utmost necessary for right now in the context of this backdrop of NEP. I'm coming to that point. Okay, now question arises why this kind of misconduct are increasing day by day. Often this is a question among the faculty members and among the research scholar. If you go by the particular document that was issued by NAC on 27th of May 2022, it is being stated by NAC that was for the purpose of NAC evaluation of any higher educational institution in India, NAC will consider those contributions from the faculty members which are published in the UGC-CARE, either in Group 1 or Group 2. They will not consider any paper that was published by any faculty member, junior or senior, regardless of their nomenclature. Okay, they will not consider any publication that is only in a peer reviewed. So that means they have specified either in the UGC-CARE or maybe in the Scopus or maybe in the Web of Science or maybe in the Publon. They will consider that. Second important thing arises why the unethical practice are increasing day by day. The main point arises that the higher educational institutions are now, because of this NAC guideline, automatically they are pressurizing their teachers, their fellow research scholars to publish more. Because automatically only this way their research credibility of the academic institution can be enhanced. Third point arises why we opt for unethical practice. The question arises sometimes it becomes very difficult for publication. Now, so there are so many people asking me the question that can we publish? Can you, sir, can you give me the name of any journal which you can publish in a very short period of time? Okay, very short period of time, if they publish, there arises the question of reviewing the paper, the quality of the paper. Generally, for reviewing the paper, it will take a time. And for an actual peer reviewed process, it will take more time to proceed. So automatically there is a difficulty of publication. As there is difficulty of publication, what happened? We are adopting some unfair means, and adopting some unfair means by virtue of paying a certain amount of money to an outsider and taking their help and get it published as soon as possible. Because we cannot wait. I can give example of mine. I have submitted one paper 1 year ago in a UGC Care Group 1 listed journal. Now, after the 6 months wait, I came across and I sent it in a mail that can you please inform me the status of the paper? They said, sir, this paper is still in queue. So automatically when it is in queue, automatically the object or bearing on that the paper has been drafted, the time period or maybe and the validity of this particular data become obsolete. So I said, immediately I then write a mail to them and said, sir, otherwise what happened if we take more than 1 year, automatically the data become invalid, loses relevance. So if you allow me, can I withdraw the paper from the said journal for further publication? They said yes. In the reply mail, they said yes. Okay. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now they say that you please withdraw the paper. And then I withdraw the paper and send it for publication in someone else. So this is very important. Now you can understand this particular problem because I think all of us have passed through this particular problem. When it will take more than 1 year and 1.5 years, so automatically by that time, some of the cases what happens, the data become irrelevant. How you can deal with this situation? So there is some problem. So in order to deal with this, now, there are various forms of scientific misconduct. Scientific misconduct is a very large part of it. Okay, under this, what happened? There is some element under scientific misconduct. There is an element called obfuscation. Obfuscation means critically omitting some of the data which are critical, while deriving the interpretation of your experiment or observation with the help of some statistical tool. You try to very tactfully reduce or side aside this particular critical variables, and you are projecting only those variables which are giving you the positive results. These techniques are there. Out of the scientific misconduct parameter, there is a one particular term was there that is called research fraud. Okay. The research fraud in relation to publication of your article, research fraud can happen in respect of undertaking some experiment. It may be in the dry lab, it may be in the wet lab, or research fraud can happen at any point of time by following the practice called FFP, and that is being identified by both the both the authority. First, it is identified by the US Office of Academic Integrity. Later on, it was same. They have also identified by the same elements by the COPE, Committee on Publication Ethics. Again, I'm repeating. It was first identified US Office, United States Office of Academic Integrity. Later on, it was also identified and incorporated as a major element under research fraud called FFP, fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. Our objective of this session, since we are focusing mainly on the plagiarism related issue, we try to understand that how these things, this particular FFP will work. Okay. Now, in this context, the most important part is that how will now we are coming to the first case one. Okay. Now, coming to this part, out of this research fraud, I have told you the concept of scientific misconduct. So, FFPC, if you can see this chart, automatically you can understand that out of the entire scientific misconduct, FFP, which is equivalent to research fraud, is one part. Second part is ghostwriting. Ghostwriting is thing that sometimes it may happen that yes, you are a good teacher, but it may possible that you are not a good researcher, or vice versa. You are a good researcher, but you are not a good teacher. So what you are doing, if you are a good teacher. But what happened, I have seen when I came across with interacting with so many senior professors of a different colleges, they are associating the rank, but they does not have any publication, single publication. Now, at that time, what happened? If they want to write, if they're not capable of writing, they lack confidence, they will go for taking some help for someone else who can write on behalf of them. And they just pay a certain amount of money to those people. These are called ghostwriting. Now, question arises, in case of ghostwriter, can we incorporate their name as an author? In most of the cases, we found that in that case, when we are paying a certain amount of money to those people who are writing the entire article on behalf of me or entire dissertation on behalf of me, we are not incorporating their name as a part of my article, or neither we are recognizing their name in the acknowledged part in my dissertation. These people are called ghost writers. They are doing because they are earning a heavy money from out of it, and you are doing because you want the credibility of your academic visibility as a researcher. Third one, I told you the obfuscation, that it is very common that sometimes you have to show your progress to your mentor. And what happens that when mentor call you and then you've done a pilot study and you are not getting a appropriate result as you expected from your data. So at that time, what happened? You find that some of the variables are very critical. You just focus on the positive side and you not focus on the negative side. In that way, you just manipulate the system of data. That is called obfuscation. Research fraud. Now we are coming to this only FFP, fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. And what are the possible way as a researcher, as a scholar, we can overcome this. So this is our main important area of focus. Case one. Out of the research fraud, now we are focusing on if, then we will focus on P. Coming to the part data fabrication and falsification. Now, this is very important. Now, what is the fabrication and falsification? What is the fundamental difference? Fabrication means you have not done a study at all, but you have came across a particular paper, and the paper giving all the detailing of his study, starting from the annexure and all the reports. So what you have gone through the paper and the paper you like most, and what you have done, tactfully you just taken the entire snapshot. That means whatever the tables they have used, you have put all the tables in your article as it was, and all the variables that they have used, you just incorporate that variables into account in your, and you just incorporate the same thing. Nothing you have done. So, and what the data you are using, you are creating some imaginary data. Most of the data you have taken and make some changes slightly. That means you are doing the entire article writing on the basis of data which is totally fake. That is called fabrication. Falsification, and if when I'm telling you that I have undergo all those things in reality, I have seen some people are doing these kind of things, and automatically they are used to these kind of things in order to portray themselves. I am an active researcher. Falsification is something wrong. Falsification, you have done the experiment, not like the data fabrication. You have done the experiment, but the experiment does not provide you the up-to-date marks according to your satisfaction level. So what you have done, you can change some of the data and then use the particular fake data into an account. That means you try somehow you just manipulate some of the data that you got. So falsify some of the data that even though it is stated negative, you just use reduce some of the variables which are giving you a negative result, and then you again run the software and you get the positive result. So this is possible, and that is that you can get a fake information and experimentation what you have done, but from that you generate a new output. So data falsification. In case of research, particularly in the field of geography or anthropology and some other area where you have to go for a field visit, sometimes what happens, it is very difficult for you to go for a field visit. Now, at that time, what happens, you can download the particular image from the Google image or some other available site, and then automatically you are using a particular software called deepfakes. Deepfakes is an artificially intelligence-driven software. By virtue of that, you can change, manipulate, reshape, re-image, make the color bright of that particular image that you can do. And then automatically you are using this in a microbiology, in a biotechnology, in a molecular biology, all those kind of things. These are very common rampant activities undertaken by the scientists. So automatically you can do that. Questionnaire. Okay. Now question arises that what is the penalty consequence for that? So in case of fabrication and falsification, it is being stated both by COPE as well as by the UGC that penalty must be imposed who is the first author. Okay. First author means the author who is responsible in collecting the data. Suppose I can explain you the much more elaborate possible way, in a more simplified way. So there are three authors in a paper, and out of the three author, second author is responsible for collecting the data. So as per the rule, the penalty should be imposed immediately on the second author and not on the first and third author. But it does not mean that only the second author should be penalized, not the first and third author. They stated that since the first person is the person who is responsible for collecting the data, that he is the main accuser, and that is why he should be penalized first. And later on, since the responsibility of other two authors cannot be, we cannot say that they does not have any responsibility. So they must review to what extent the truthfulness of this data. They have to check, they have to verify. If they have not done, later on, the same penalty can be imposed on second and third author due to non-evaluation of the data that they have done. So it means even though you are not the person who are responsible for collecting the data, you are also equally responsible when the punishment is going to impose on all the authors. Maybe the second author will be punished first, and maybe the first and third author will be punished later on. This is the rule. Okay. Now, coming to the next part, that I told you the particular concept. If you can see this one, the use of falsification and the image use of this defects and something like that. One thing which is very common to all of you in your earlier days when you were in the undergraduate level or when you are in a postgraduate, sometimes what happened, you are used some images. And as we know, you can take in some images either from the Google image, or you can take it from some sites like called Shutterstock, or suppose you have gone through a particular paper like Sage or Emerald or Taylor and Francis or Wiley, something like that. And what happened then, where the abstract and images are available free of cost, you can see. So you found a particular image is very useful, you download it. And for the purpose of your research, it may be an article writing or it may be your dissertation, you just incorporate that image into your thesis or article writing. So whether the scholar has done something wrong, the answer is yes, the scholar has done something wrong out of it. Okay. So in that case, what happened? We must understand the rule relating to Creative Commons license. Now, out of this Creative Commons license, these two, three, it becomes very, very important because see, this one, and that one. Now, how these are useful? Now, since Creative Commons license means is a standard possible way how you can take a permission for the creative work that has been done by someone else. Now, how you can do that? At that time, you have to check some image of the logo. If CC means Creative Commons license, and there's a by. If the term by is there, automatically by means that when you are using some image, the image has been captured by some other person. So give respect to that original creator. Give respect to the original creator. And that is why once you paste the particular image in your article or in your dissertation, below it write down picture or figure, this one, or 1.1 or 1.2 something. After that, you can write the heading of the picture, and below it, write the source where from you have taken it, including the link as well as on which date you have accessed it. So CC by means which image I have used and the source thereof. I have to give incorporate into it, including the accession date, on which date I have accessed this particular image or the. Now, CC by SA means shared alike. Now, what is share alike? Share alike means whatever the image you have downloaded from any journal or any magazine or something like that, if they fall under CC by SA, shared alike, whatever the image it was, you have to use this image as it was. You does not have any authority to change the image, to resize the image, to make the brightening the image, color brightness of this image by using any kind of artificially intelligence free software like deep fakes, that you are not allowed. Okay, when it is called CC by NC, that means you can use any image and where you have to give full credit to the original creator by virtue of the link along with that accession date. Provided NC means non-commercialization. Non-commercialization. It means you cannot use this image for the purpose of brochure development and for admitting some students in your institution. You cannot use this image for the purpose of developing some consultancy movement on behalf of your institution. That you cannot do. That means that image you need to take from a space, from a particular source, which is called CC by 0. Now, what is CC by 0? CC by 0 means in a pub, that is, it is available, the images are available in a public domain or in the form of a subscribe mode. So automatically, the creator has given these things in a open access platform, and so that you can download it, you can use it for any purpose, commercial and non-commercial. So you have to check what is the status of the paper that you have access through online. I can show you a very simple example out of it. Let's see. I'm clicking on it. If you can see, please inform me. If you cannot, please inform me. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, what I told you, I have opened a particular journal website of IIM Shillong. Okay. And it is a journal that is now under SAGE. Okay. And then if you go by this, the biannual journal published by IIM Shillong, and it is open access. Now you can see I am showing you the current edition of January 2023. If you can go to this current edition, see there are options are there. You can download the paper, PDF form, HTML form, and you can also see the abstract. See here, what is written? CC by NC. That is, you can download it. If some images are there that you cannot use for non-commercial purpose. Okay. So this is very important. Not for any non-commercial. You have to use it for not for any commercial purpose. You cannot use it. This is very important. When you are downloading any paper, and then automatically you have to see that when you are downloading any journal paper, if some images they have used, you have to take prior permission out of it. Sometimes what happen, I'm telling you, sometimes what happen, we often go through a particular paper. Okay, suppose particularly in case of Sage or Emerald, that happen most. And we have seen a particular model they have used. And we download the image because these images are available in a JPG format. You can download the image and use it in my dissertation and say, this is available in the particular this journal and now. But you cannot immediately do that. You have to send a mail to them and request them, can I use this diagram of a particular paper that was published in this month, volume number ato, issue number ato, and page number ato, and table figure number 3.1 or 3.4. Can I use this diagram for the purpose of my article or for the purpose of my research? If they said yes, definitely you can use. At that time, there is no violation of unethical practice. Otherwise, there is a major violation of unethical practice as adopted by the scholar. So these things we must learn, particularly CC by SA, CC by NC, and this public domain are frequently used in research. Now, please go through this particular case and tell me, from your point of view, whether it is ethical or not. Please, any one of you must give me the response. Okay, so please go through it and tell me what is your opinion. regarding this particular situation or case of Mr. Paul? And what do you think? It is ethical or unethical?
Very much unethical.
Unethical, sir.
Thank you so much for your response. Unethical. Okay, so it is an unethical. Okay. My next case to you, please go through the case of Monica and tell me whether it is ethical or not.
Partially.
Okay, why, ma'am? Unethical. Why partially? To you, ma'am. Why is it partial? Hello, please.
I think there is a twist in the language. I mean, what do you mean by tactfully? Tactfully, then we can't say it's. I mean, so tactfully. I mean, when we are putting the name of an author without the permission of the author, we can't say. And once the author is given, then it should not be ethical. So these days, most of the journals asks what is the contribution. Most of the good journals. I don't know what the. So if any journal is decent, they ask what is the contribution of X, Y, and Z authors. So
Okay.
tactfully is little not clear. So that I think based on this we can't say it's ethical or unethical. So you have to explain tactfully very.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Good observation you have made. Okay. Any other opinion from the
It's the same here, sir.
Okay. Now see what when actually these are all cases that I have developed so far for my book. You know that why I have incorporated the term tactfully. I have experienced those things in my life. There are some people I have seen. Okay, they have written the paper, but they need. They are a young research scholar. They are doing research. They have not joined any college. Neither they have appeared for any college service commission or anything. So they want to incorporate their name of their professor because their professor is in a state-run university, and when they are holding the position of a dean or HOD, automatically you can understand how much power they have. So automatically, if I can incorporate, and Monica is planning things to in that line, that if I can incorporate my name of this particular professor who is well-known figure in the field of academia, and there is a chance my paper got selected. Another option I can tell you, suppose you can assume that, not assume, you can find out in the real life, and you can definitely find out what I'm saying. There are so many examples are there that if a state-run university, they have their own publication, and that the publication is being listed in the UGC CARE Group 1. And if you are a scholar of that person who is also invariably the part of this editorial board, definitely you likely to incorporate his or her name as the author for the purpose of getting this particular chance of this paper more fast during acceptance. So I hope Monica are trying to incorporate the name of Mr. A, the person who is holding is a well-known figure in the field of academics, and she wants that if I can incorporate the name of that person, my chance of publication in that is more high. Now, what you have said, yes, there is a point that whether it is ethical or not. Actually, in simple term, it is totally unethical. It cannot be an ethical, whatever it may be mode. When you are adopting some unfair means, you can publish of your own, or you can publish the particular thing in consent. But at that time, most important thing, which I feel, that the person must disclose the matter that the paper has been submitted and where I am the editorial board member. Okay, so preferably so that the chance of biasness can be removed in this case. So these things are very important and very, see, other than the top quality journals, what you are talking about, it is not very difficult for us, for all of us. some people can manage, but getting some time out of your busy academic schedule as well as overloaded administrative schedule, get some time to write a paper that you can focusing on ABTC A star or ABTC B and C. So automatically it will take too much time. So what you are targeting in general, you think about not for a top quality institution, think about a majority of the colleges which are under different affiliated university. There are so many teachers. We have to think from a mass point of view. You cannot only think about the top schools like IITs and IIMs. There's so many people are there. Just today, I have taken one session 2 hours ago in a college where some of the people are interested, but they are not written any paper. They're trying to do, but they're unable. They're not getting time. They're not getting these infrastructural facilities to write. And sometimes what happened, even though they're interested to write, where they will publish is also a questionable issue. So these things are there. At that time, what happened? If you get a chance to, by incorporating the name of a person, your paper got published or selected, why not you will go for it? Actually, it is an unethical approach in sense. Okay, so that means now my question is that, and what Sarah said, automatically some good journals are asking for that what is the contribution of that person. But for most of the UGC-CARE Group 1 journals, we don't want, but they are not demanding such kind of things. Okay. But at that time, but if you're looking for an ABTC listed journals, definitely they require that. Sometimes in good Emerald Journal, really, or Taylor and Francis, they require that. But now, not this culture is very popular that please define the contribution of each and every person who have done, particularly in the field of social science, it's also lacking. It may be coming day by day, but it's still lacking. My question is that to all of you, can I, if I put in that way, suppose any one of you from in this particular in this workshop are from any other science discipline other than commerce and management? Any one of you?
Yes, sir.
What is your stream, ma'am?
I am both in computer science and management, sir. I'm also from the computer science.
I mean, if I consider the computer science only, the fundamental one. Okay.
Yes.
Suppose it is I'm a management. Okay, I'm in the stream for management. I want to collaborate with you. Okay, I have given you an idea how you can write a paper in relation to computer science. Okay. Or suppose I am a professor of history. I have given you some idea. Can you incorporate my name as an author?
Yes, but it depends upon how the topic is inclined towards.
Inclined
For
to if anyone give you an idea, so you can try to incorporate his name or her name as an author.
yes, sir. Either it depends, sir. If the contribution is more from his side, he would be a first author.
No, no, he's only lending his idea to you.
Sir, we can acknowledge his contribution to us.
Okay, but you will not incorporate as an author.
If he agrees for it, because again, second point we have to consider.
No, I'm not talking about the acknowledgement. I'm talking about can you incorporate the name of that person as an author?
Yes, sir. We can. We can, sir. We can. I can. Yes, yes, I can.
May I respond, sir?
Yes, 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 please.
So usually I don't know about others, like whatever paper I have published, couple of A. So idea got usually first author, and then based on write-up and all, because idea is the most, because idea needs a lot of time to enact it. And once idea got generated, then data collection or the secondary issue that can be done. So once your theoretical, or I mean, depend on the nature of the work, you're either going for a theoretical work or the empirical.
Qualitative.
I think idea is very important.
Okay. So from the class, we got a very good response. It is very interactive. Thanks to all of you. I got this opinion from all of you, and let's see how the term author is being defined by COPE. Okay. So we are not the authority to define this term. Let's see the authority, how they defined. They said the case 2 is called on authorship issue. What they have said, significant contribution you have made in conceptualization and designing the work. But you know, unfortunately, what happened, what Sarah has said, that even though someone is giving you the idea, the person is not being recognized properly. Okay. Sometimes what happens, you are giving your work to some other party. You are utilizing your students to collect the data. And then you are asking them, please interpret with the help of software, and then give the draft the interpretation. And you tactfully incorporating in your article and then publish it. This is not a common. It is very common, not an uncommon. It's very common to our situation stream. Okay. Then someone has done the drafting and editing part of it. The person is not written the literature review or the introduction part, nor formulate the hypothesis, but he or she has done the entire editing of the paper. So whatever the form, the three pink color indicating that there are three different forms of contribution that can be made by any person. Okay, and that we have to be incorporate as an author. So what you have to do at that time, you have to identify that according to their importance, and then rank them and incorporate them as an author, first or the second or third. But I'm telling you one such story. Two story I came across very recently. When I'm taking the RPE session, Research and Publication Ethics session in my college, there's a one student, I asked the same thing to that student. Once the class is over, she tell me, sir, I am a student of microbiology. I'm doing my PhD now. But prior to that, I have an experience in my postgraduate level. She came from a different college. She told me that, sir, my that time professor in the university asked me to write a particular draft of a paper. I have worked for day and night and drafted the entire paper of my own by using my own knowledge of writing. Once I have drafted, I have given the entire paper manuscript to my sir. Later on, I came across the paper was published by sir by incorporating the name of two other person where my name was not there. Case one. Okay. Now, this is a case. Case two, I can tell you, there is a professor name withheld for the purpose of maintaining the secrecy from a reputed top B school in India. And the scholar, and there is one scholar, she is doing her research under her guidance. Fortunately, the scholar, she is my direct student in the MCOM level. Okay, so she called me one night and tell me, sir, I am passing through a very difficult stage. What to do? I said, what happened with you? She said that, sir, what happened? My guide instructed me to write a paper, and that should be of good quality so that she can publish the paper in at least in ABDC B or ABDC A. I worked for more than 1.5 years in order to draft the entire paper, and finally, she told me once it was done, she told me that to give it to me. I don't expect that I will incorporate your name as an author in the paper. And if you expect that I will incorporate your name, then forget about your registration for PhD. Okay, so there are a problem. There's a problem in the system. There's a problem of misutilization of power. Can we stop it? We cannot stop it. Okay, so what is more important? We have to inculcate this knowledge among all of you. So all of you, those who are the seniors and those who are the juniors, because only then, by dissemination of this kind of information among all, hope in the next years to come, we can create a transparent and ethical culture during our academic research. Okay, so that we can enhance our own world ranking automatically. Okay, so this is very important. Now coming to that point, how the authorship can be subdivided. The authorship can be subdivided into three possible ways: ghost, guest, and gift authorship. Okay, so what is ghost authorship? I told you this case of ghost authorship under the head scientific misconduct. I cannot write. I have taken the help of some person who has written the entire article on behalf of me, and I paid 10,000. The person has written, analyzed the data, collect the data, and everything. Okay, so I am taking the paper of my own. I have not acknowledged the person in any possible. Forget about the authorship. I will not provide him authorship, but I have not acknowledged him as well. So who is that person? The person is called ghost author. Now, questionnaire is the case of guest authorship. Guest authorship means the case of Monica is a case of guest authorship. The case of Paul is a case of ghost authorship. Now, why guest authorship? Because Monica tactfully invited A to incorporate his name for the purpose of getting the chance of publication faster. So it's a case of guest authorship. Okay, so these are all identified by COPE as unethical. Third one is very interesting, and that is not unknown or uncommon to us, very known to us. Suppose you're working in a private college. If you're working in a state affiliated college, then whether you are publishing or not, there is not so much pressure. But you are working in a private university, deemed university, or in a private run college, so automatically you must have too much pressure for publication, as well as pressure to spotlight yourself among the seniors. Senior means those who are in the top administration, like directors, dean, and HOD, and the principal, like that. Then what you will do? You will just tactfully request them. The paper you have written, what you can do? You can request them, sir, can I incorporate your name as a first author? Can I incorporate your name as a second author? And they will say yes. If something is coming free of cost and they will get the benefit as a first author and second author, what is the problem? Yes, you can use my name. So automatically you are just giving priority to those people only to get your chance to be promoted in the next higher level, or enhancing your AP, or your promotion, or you can spotlight by the administrative authorities for further other activities, or for other promotion. So anything can be done. So this is a case of gift authorship. I can ask you one question. Suppose you're working in a college, okay, and the college of a particular department ask you that we will organize one international conference, and the outcome of the conference can be published in the form of a conference proceedings with ISBN number. Okay, now what happened? Definitely you will try to come out with all the homework you have done, starting from communicating with the publisher, rearranging the papers, manuscript as per the common format, send it for publication, proof checking you have done. Now tell me one thing, okay, from the core of your heart, when you are putting the name of the author, who is the first author? The head of the department or you?
If I have work, I'll be the first author. I don't even care about my HOD or dean.
Then definitely I can assume that you are working in a state-run college or university. That is
I'm in a private university, not in a state-run university. My
okay.
PhD is from one of the top institute in India, but I'm working with a private university, a well-known private university in Pune. Nobody has interfered us so far. I mean, I have published in at least a dozen top journals.
Then
Nobody has.
you are very fortunate that you are got this kind.
We are.
Yeah,
I'm from Flame University, and
but
then yes, our university is really.
unfortunately, but I thank God that you are in a good institution and they have a good work culture, and that is why you are getting momentum in terms of research. But you know, there are so many issues are there in so many colleges.
Might be I don't have much idea because
Yeah,
I mean,
we are passing through this problem because see, we cannot expect that ethical side is coming from this top institute and who have a very good educational culture. There are so many colleges. You can ask anyone who are working in the different colleges under state affiliated university, or then automatically you don't have this courage to go beyond and incorporating your name in the editorial, in the edited book as a first author. You cannot give. You have to
really.
incorporate the name of the head as a first author. So there's a problem of authorship issue. Even though we are aware of, we cannot overcome this problem. Okay. Otherwise, there can be some problem arise interrelationship in the department. Okay. So there are so many other issues will come later on. So these problems are there. Now, what we can do in order to overcome this and how to project myself despite all criticism and despite all adverse situation. Okay, now what we can do, we can go for an orchid. Okay, we can go for an orchid. And I think this is, nowadays it's become very important. I think some of the senior persons are there. So orchid, those who are junior, those who are upcoming researcher, please use this orchid ID. You please open the orchid ID, and it is totally free of cost. of cost, and then automatically with the help of Orchid, you can project it, the papers that you have done. You can also project yourself the area of your research, and automatically when you're submitting a paper in a good reputed journals like Emerald, Taylor and Francis Wiley, automatically you can please use this Orchid ID as a major link for connecting with those journals. And what happened then when Emerald or Sage or Taylor and Francis are publishing your paper or accepting your paper for publication, automatically, if you do not have Orchid, they cannot publish. But they definitely request you to submit your Orchid ID first. And this Orchid ID, they will track the paper that was published by Sage on Taylor and Francis, and automatically it will upgrade it. So it is a very important way to portray yourself as a vibrant researcher and create your own space in this academic community with the help of this Orchid, and to overcome some of the issue relating to this authorship problem. Case C is a very common problem that we have seen, called redundant publication. Okay, redundant means some kind of duplicate publication, something we call repeated publication, whatever may be the nomenclature. What happened, I have seen, it is very, all things I have seen, that is why I have put forth in the form of various cases. What I have seen, that there are so many articles a person has written in the same area, okay, but only the title is changed. Okay, most of the cases that introduction, the hypothesis, the sample size, the data, the identical methodology, everything remains same. Even the conclusion remains same. So this is called the redundant publication. Don't go for this kind of publication which is totally redundant in nature. You focus on the quality rather than on quantity. Okay, if you publish one paper in a year, that is good. Okay, that will identify by the people across the globe based on your work, not 10 or 20 papers that you have written in a year. Okay, this is very important. Don't opt for redundant application. If you want to write the article from a different angle. Based on the same thing, you can write from a different angle. That is more acceptable. Okay. Case 4 is a duplicate and overlapping publication. It is not redundant publication. Okay. Now, what is the difference between duplicate and overlapping publication from that of the redundant publication is that, okay, now even though what happened, so you have taken something from your earlier paper, but what you have merged 2, 3 paper and create one paper. Okay, you have changed some part of the introduction, or maybe you have done some literature review and you try to change some part of the literature review. Suppose earlier you have done 10 literature review. Now out of the 10, you have just removed 6 literature and incorporate some new 6. So automatically you have done some, but some of the outcomes remain same. Okay, and some new data is being added, maybe in the introduction, maybe in the literature review. So in that way, and some title is being changed. Okay, but in a different way. But keeping the essence of the main title remains same. So what actually you have done? You have done a duplicate and overlapping publication. Same thing. Okay, that's it. That does not have any kind of further contribution in the field of research. So when you are adopting this kind of practice, you can project himself as a vivid researcher in front of those people, those who are not good in research. But the people who are very vibrant in research, they can understand these are nothing but a wastage of time and energy. This does not have any implication in the real life. So this is very important for us to understand that the difference between redundant and duplicate and overlapping publication. Case 5, this is a part that is more important as per our topic is concerned, that is called plagiarism issue. Now, question arises that what is plagiarism? Definitely, you must agree with me that academic dishonesty. Sometimes we undertake this plagiarism issue and we never give our consent that it is an act, dishonest act. We never say, okay, do we adopted something from someone else and then we have given a proper attribution or citation into it? Most of the cases, what happened? There is a question that I will not. Okay, if I will not provide it, automatically in the case of plagiarism. We have to give attribution or citation properly when I am writing any paper, an article, or dissertation. Now, most important thing is that what are the different. Now, you tell me from this case, what is your opinion? What type of penalty that you can impose on Kaya? Any one of you?
I mean, so plagiarism, then it should lead to penalty, and then I don't know what is the penalty or what national education policy is, but it's vary from university to university, and that is a serious concern. So she might.
Okay, that means, but what is your opinion? Can we penalize Kaya for that?
Obviously, we should penalize Kaya for that.
Okay. Any other opinion from the people who are attending the session?
Sir,
No one.
adding to that, here the university will be coming to the responsibility because Gaya, whoever they will submit the paper, at the time the university has the responsibility to check the plagiarism before going for the publication.
Okay, very good observation. Very good observation. Okay, so I got a very good, valuable information from two of you. I'm very much thankful to you. But thing is that yes, two of you have given a very deep angle into it. That why one said that we will penalize Kaya. Second one said that it is a responsibility of the institution to check the authenticity of the paper through plagiarism software. Now I'm coming telling you the truth. The truth is that first, before we penalizing Kaya, definitely we will penalize the Kaya, but immediately we cannot withdraw the best paper award. We can withhold the publication part of Kaya. Okay, and but the most important thing is that what you said, I got a second response that we have to use the particular plagiarism software to check the papers that we have accepted for publication in a conference. I'm telling you, 70% colleges in India does not have this software. Okay, maybe 30% of the colleges, private run universities, deemed university, they have this. But public run universities and universities and most of the colleges which are running autonomously or something like that, some of them best institutions they have, but most of them they doesn't have. So automatically for a conference purpose, when they are scheduling this conference as soon as possible, they're coming out with a date, and within a very short period of time, they're coming out with a publication or for an edited book or ISBN number with or ISSN number, whatever it may be. Even for only presentation purpose, it becomes very difficult for the authority to check the plagiarism of all those papers. In 90% cases, I'm telling you, it has never happened. I'm not talking about the top graded schools and colleges and universities, but rest of the class, the mass, I'm talking about. So at that time, in these cases, it's not happening. My third observation is that in addition to what you have observed, correct, my third observation is that are Kaya aware of the penalty consequence of plagiarism? Are Kaya aware of what is plagiarism? What are its different forms of plagiarism? So that is the necessity of the university nowadays when they are going to implement an undergraduate program honors with research in their 8th semester under the column called Skill Enhancement Program. So they must learn. Not only they learn, they must aware. They are all the faculty members that please you are aware of what are the penalty consequence of plagiarism in this context. Otherwise, you are not able to briefing or disseminate the information about that issue to your students. So this is the thing, and that is why we have to understand the types of plagiarism that we have. First one is called patchwork plagiarism. It is a general tendency. You can remember those days that when undergraduate students are doing this particular project under you, automatically, and when the deadline is coming nearby, they are cutting and pasting everything from here and there, and automatically and put it in the form of a page after page, and without any proper citation and attribution. This is called patchwork plagiarism. So then, in case of this patchwork plagiarism, earlier days it is acceptable. Nowadays, it cannot be acceptable after NEP. Why? Because the nomenclature of the term project is being replaced by the UGC in this NEP 2020 with the term dissertation. Automatically, when the term dissertation is being incorporated, automatically there are some stringent rule is going to be applicable in respect of this case. Second one is a direct plagiarism. What by what transcription? Okay, so of someone's work without proper attribution. Okay, now I receive a question from a law research scholar when I'm taking one session in different parts of India. The scholar asked me one question, and there's another student from an English scholar who is doing research in English. He said, "Sir, I have to quote Keats and Shelley. I have to quote Shakespeare. So how can I change? I have to put word by word transcription from the original person." Okay, someone said to me, "Sir, I'm a law researcher. I have to put forth the verdict of Supreme Court or High Court and District Court, whatever the judgment given. I cannot change that. Then do you think that it is a plagiarized portion under the head direct plagiarism?" I said, no. At that time, what happened? There is some policies there. What is that policy? Under this case, this direct plagiarism, the concept is subdivided into two parts. One is called short quote, one is called long quote. If it is less than 40 words, it is called short quote. If it is more than 40 words, it is called long quote. For less than 40 words, what you have to do, how you can overcome this concept of this issue, this short quote plagiarism related issue. If you can put it less than 40 words, you can put it in a separate thing. You have to put it within double quote. That is, if it is less than 40 words, you have to put it in a double quote, and at the end of this quotation, that is when you go for unquoted, automatically at the end you have to give a parenthetical citation. Now you know the term parenthetical citation. You start with the first bracket, okay, then you put the surname, then comma, and the year, then bracket close. It's called parenthetical citation. There's another form of citation is there, what is called narrative form of citation, where you just put the surname outside the bracket, and within the bracket you just incorporate the year, bracket close, narrative citation. So they said during short quote, you have to put the entire thing within double quote, and at the end, you have to give a parenthetical citation. For the second one, when you are using more than 40 words, it is called long quote. For the long quote, what you have to do, you have to put it in a separate paragraph and make it in italicized. And then automatically at the end, so you have to put it in a separate paragraph and make the entire words in an italicized. And then at the end, you just write down the parenthetical citation. In these two possible way, the problem related to direct plagiarism can be overcome. Self-plagiarism. I have done a paper. I have a very good researcher. I have written one paper or two paper. Now I'm trying to write another paper based on my same theme. What I have done, I have used my earlier paper as a source of reference, and I have taken most of the part out of it and rewrite another paper. What I have done, self-plagiarized. That is, if not being cited properly, it is called self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism is also a same type of penalty consequence, just like if you have done something from others. So that means the penalty consequence for self-plagiarism and penalty consequence for patchwork plagiarism or direct plagiarism are all remain same. Then how we can overcome the problem of self-plagiarism? Citation. Self-citation is a very important way you can overcome the problem of self-plagiarism. So self-citation is very important. Even though in the case of your dissertation, if you written a very good paper on it, you can cite of your paper in that research or in the thesis in which you have undertaken, or when you are interested to write some further paper, you can cite you. So this is called self-citation. This is very important to overcome the problem pertaining to self-plagiarism. Okay. Now, when I'm taking a session for a Northeast University, there's a associate professor from political science asked me one question at the end of the session. I just try to share, or because this concept is totally based on sharing of knowledge and ideas. So the ma'am asked me, "Sir, I have a question. Can I share with you?" And I said, "Yes." Ma'am said, "I am a professor of political science. I am an associate professor. Now, what problem I have faced before implementation of this UGC CARE Group 1 and Group 2, I am in the table, and then what happened in the table, and what happened? I'm sharing the idea with my fellow colleague. What happened then? The fellow colleague take the idea from me, and then just a minute, 1 minute. The fellow colleague has taken the idea from me and then published one paper in his own name. and for the particular person that, sir, ma'am, see, this is my new publication in the peer review journal. One thing, the case one. Case two, just a minute. Next, what happened? There is another case where the particular person has gone through a beautiful paper and automatically take the main theme out of it and rewrite one paper based on the same theme, keeping the essence of the entire paper as it is. This is a case of idea plagiarism. Since it cannot be quantified properly, okay, immediately it's become very difficult to charge anyone. So ma'am cannot accuse that male professor regarding the stolen of this idea. What is the way out then? In that case, if you found that the particular person has taken some idea, and if the journal find out the idea is being taken, but I cannot claim anything because I don't have any proof. But the journal can do one thing. If the journal came across that the person has taken an idea from our original paper and portraying the as it was, automatically journal can give a notification in their website that we are withdrawing the paper from our issue, or they can request the particular author to rephrase the entire paper. But most of the cases, what happened? They just withdraw the paper from their online open access platform. If it is hard copy, automatically sometimes it becomes very difficult, but preferably if it is online, they can give a notification regarding that we are withdrawing the particular paper from our said publication, volume and issue number, and that was published in which particular month. So in that way, this idea plagiarism can work. Okay. Now question arises that what type of thing we will exclude when we are doing research, particularly when we are drafting thesis. UGC has given a specific guideline in 2018. Okay, when they circulated one extraordinary gazette, they said all the quoted work, what I told you, the short quote and long quote and all those things, even the images, if you have taken from a public domain, if you have taken all with all clarity, with due permission, then automatically that is excluded from plagiarism checking. When the institute are checking the thesis with the help of software like Authenticate, Turnitin, or Urkund, all reference, bibliography, table of content, preface, and acknowledgement should be excluded. So what all the minor terms which are common in nature, like your name of your college, your name of your institution, all those things should be excluded. All the technical terms like statistics, like hypothesis, t-test, then factor analysis, structured equation modeling, okay, qualitative analysis, all those things should be excluded. That means when you are evaluating the thesis, only the chapters should be passed through the plagiarism software, not the entire thesis. But you know, I'm telling you, different universities are following different rules. Some universities are preferring that you have to submit the entire thesis and that we will check. Some universities are saying that you have to submit only the chapters for checking through this Authenticate or Turnitin or Urkund software, so that we can give you the report. And that report you have to attach in your thesis. This has become very important nowadays. So plagiarism related policy is very, very important in this context. Okay. Now we are coming to the types of level of plagiarism and the penalty consequence. There are 4 levels are there, starting from 0. Up to 10% of that, it is being stated. In that case, it is only from the viewpoint of the scholars. There is no penalty can be imposed if the level of plagiarism detected up to 10% in a thesis. 10 to 40%, it is being stated that the concerned researcher are requested by the department to extend the manuscript submission extended for a period of 6 months. If it is 40 to 60%, it can be extended for up to 1 year. But if it is more than 60%, the registration of that particular candidate shall be cancelled by the respective department or body with the due permission from the recommended committee. I am coming to that point on who are the recommended committee. But prior to that, I will focus on what is the penalty consequence for the faculty member in case of article or in case of article or in case of dissertation. If it is up to 10%, then there is no penalty. If it is 10 to 40%, then the head of the HEI will request the faculty members to withdraw the article from the said journal or withdraw the particular manuscript from the said publication house. If it is more than 40 but up to 60%, then what happened? Automatically, first you have to withdraw the paper from the journal. Second is that one most important thing, one annual increment of that particular faculty member can be stopped by the higher HEI in where he is working or she is working. And that person, the concerned faculty, are not allowed to guide any student. It may be postgraduate, it may be MPhil, or maybe PhD for a period of 2 years. Now, level of penalty for 60% above. Automatically, first you have to withdraw the paper. Second, 2 annual increment can be stopped. And the person is not allowed to guide any further master's, MPhil, and PhD scholar for a period of 3 years. So this is the penalty consequence that is being highlighted, and they recommend that in order to this, they need the help of these 2 committees. Now it is necessary that every university, every autonomous institution, every colleges, when they are going to implement NEP, they must incorporate this committee. One is called DIP, one is called IAIP, Departmental Academic Integrity Panel and Institutional Academic Integrity Panel. Now, DIP is comprised of 3 members committee and IAIP comprises of 4 members committee. Okay. In case of DIP, the chairman is the head of the respective department and 1 senior academician from other department nominated by the principal of this college or the university. And the third member must be a person who must have a greater understanding about the plagiarism related software. This member B and C will work for a period of 2 years. Okay, after that, their tenure comes to an end, and there may be new committee was formed in respect of B and C, but A remains same. Okay, who is the head? He will be the chairman. Okay, now what happens? Suppose if anything will happen, that thing should be immediately reported to DIP. DIP will scrutinize the entire process and give report to the IAIP within 45 days. After that, IAIP will give the report directly to the head of this HEI. And then automatically, based on the recommendation of the IAIP, the final decision regarding, in particular, in the case of more than 60%, will be undertaken by the head of HEI. Okay, so this is a rule relating to implementation of this DIP. In case of IAIP, because in a college or in a university, we have so many departments. So we need an IAIP for the entire university or for the entire college. Then who should be the chairman? Rule is that the provisee, the dean, or the senior academician of this become a chairman. Then another member from other from department can be act as a senior academician. There is another third member is being appointed. This one can be appointed by the head, by the principal from outside your college. And last person, who is a person known about plagiarism related software very well. The tenure for all the 3 members are for a period of 3 years. This particular committee will give direct report to the head of this HEI, and then automatically the decision can be taken accordingly. Okay, so in that case, this thing will happen. So now we have so many software tools are available. Some are free, some are paid. We know the most important and authentic software that we can use for the purpose of our research by the scholars is Authenticate, Turnitin, and Urkund that we can use. There's so many others are there. If we do not have access, so many colleges does not have infrastructure to access to, they does not have to purchase, able to purchase this. So automatically at that time, they have to go for some free run software like Viper, Scanner, Duplicator, Plagiarism, Paper Data, Qtext, Copylinks. But after the implementation, when before the students are coming into the fourth year, that is in the semester 7 and 8, we need to have this software mandatorily in each and every college so that they can run and check the plagiarism content of those dissertations. Finally, what we can say, what is our point to be shared, what you will do to avoid this case of plagiarism. Don't copy. Don't copy. Write off your own. Better. Don't recycle any image, figures, table from outside. Be aware of the Creative Commons license. If it is Creative Commons license 0, okay. If it is given on CC BY or CC BY SA, all those things. And whenever you want, you can take the permission from the respective authority for using any image, table, whatever it may be. So only in that possible way, we can overcome this particular problem of unethical issue related to the research, particularly in the context of plagiarism. Thank you. Hope it is useful to all of you. If you have any question, you can please ask me.
So I have a small question. It was really interesting. I learned, at least I was not aware about short and long quote. Thank you for that. I have one small query, less question. You somewhere mentioned 6 month is data are old. So does 6 month data really old? I was surprised because some of the journal, it takes roughly 1.5 to 2 years to get your paper published. And I have experience of after 3 years of getting rejection also.
No, it
So
depends on which context. I mean, in which context the
For
observation.
example, let's talk about commerce or economics data. Still, 2011 census we are using. So in that context, 6 month data, I felt that will very old. We can't say even survey
Yes.
data people are using say 8 to 10 months, because I did my PhD survey in 2013 and I'm still using that data. So so it's almost 10
So
years now.
actually, see, the point is that when you are incorporating more longitudinal study, okay, more longitudinal study, at that time the relevance of the data remains same. Okay, that means suppose now you are trying to evaluate from 2013 to 2023, since it becomes a longitudinal study, more
I'm
long.
talking about cross section. I'm not talking about longitude. I'm talking about only cross section data. It's 1 point of data, not longitude. It's only 1 point data of cross section data.
Or the
Not longitudinal.
yes, at that time it still remain relevant in the context of the research. Yes.
So like that's why it was surprising. So like 6 month data is like, so I thought, let me clarify. That's all. It was brilliant session, sir. Thank you for clarifying lot many new, at least for me, lot many new things which I learned. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I think Twinkle ma'am has something to say.
No, sir. It was very nice. It was
Okay.
very nice. I really was not knowing the way you told we should put authors in the paper. This I was not really knowing, but it was very good to know from you. So thank you very much, sir.
Sometimes what happened, ma'am, even though we know, sometimes we are not in a position to implement. We have some problem in implementing all those ethical issues, even though we are aware of. Okay. But
Yes. Thank
yes.
you, sir.
Sir, actually, I have one question. Like this is
Yes, sir.
regarding what about the students, sir? Actually, because I see in some colleges they allow 20% plagiarism. So how do we go about this? Students are bound to make more mistakes when they are learning or they're doing it for the first time.
For in that case, what happened? First, we have to teach our teachers first, and then
Yeah.
automatically that teachers will take the responsibility to disseminate this information about this concept, about how to manage, how to overcome this problem to the students, so that they must be aware of. Yes, if we can do that, that is a penalty consequence.
So the 20% is what actually some colleges are giving, actually allowing.
It is based on the arbitrarily. It is based on arbitrarily. They are not following the UGC guideline. So actually, you have to customize in line with UGC, and automatically the last part you can customize it for the penalty. Like, sir, suppose sometimes what happened, that instead of extending the period of 1 year, that you cannot do, you automatically there's a debit condition for that student. At that time, what you can do, you can deduct some marks. That you can do. Okay, in that.
Negative marking is possible.
Yes, yes, yes.
The allowed thing is only 10% for students list. I mean, from what I saw, up to 0 to 10%.
Yes, yes, yes. No penalty can be imposed. Huh?
Okay, sir. Yeah. And thank you for, you had a nice illustrated presentation, sir. I like your illustrations.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Any question? Otherwise, we can request Nikita ma'am to.
Is there any question, anybody? Sir, I want to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Sumanta Datta, sir. Sir, you have spared your precious time from your busy schedule to grace this session and enlighten us all with the knowledge and experience you have gained. And so this whole session was much too informatically and much more tremendous. And the thing which keep us aware and informative and focused on this whole session was your questionnaire interactive round. That was really tremendous.
Thank you, Nikita ma'am. Thank you so much.
Really like that, and all the points which you have covered, like redundant, overlapping publications, research ethics, scientific misconduct, why unethical practicing increasing, data fabrications, and about the Orchid ID plagiarism, level of plagiarism. Everything was really nice. Means we have gained really lot and lot from you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you all.
much. Sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
With your due
Thank
permission.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Nikita ma'am, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.